Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan, the podcast where the farts are in the middle of math class and the Naruto runs are plenty. I'm Atlas Novak, I'm a millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino, the genetic marvel, and I didn't understand half of those references, and that makes me happy. Probably.
Our guest today is Max Mielecki. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
I was hoping for an intro that was comparable to last time, Max, but sorry, we caught you on an off day. That's fine. Yeah. For anyone who hasn't seen, the last time Max was on here, we introduced him, and he's like, "What's up, Power Bottoms?" Right out of the gate. One of, to this day, the funniest intros I've ever watched. It will always, yeah.
You told me I would have prepared something.
I can't. Yeah, I always have that worry about telling somebody my expectations because I don't like putting people on the spot because I don't like being put on the spot, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, it's people are like, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm like, no, I don't, I'm not nervous around. I'm nervous around things that make people comfortable, right? Like, there are lots of friendly people. I'm like, oh, that sounds horrible. I don't no. That's
what do you think we are? Improv performers?
Don't even listen.
Phoebe, I know you're listening. I will never.
The wild part is, so I got a job at so there is a castle in Toronto, okay, in the city I live in. So think about it this way: in the middle of LA. Imagine and it's not just a castle; it's like a proper castle with like hidden entrances and secret tunnels and shit like that. Okay,
and it's not a medieval times.
No, like that's the thing is it's on the other side of the city. Okay, so the thing is, like, it was the X Mansion in the X-Men movies. That's in Toronto. Okay, now, so the wild part is that I'm there. They do a Legends of Horror thing, so I got a job there. I'm very excited about it. I start this week. What's up, Serge? Hello.
Yeah.
I think it's Lure, yeah.
Lure.
Like from Omicron Persei. So the problem is that, like, I'm 6'3" and 270 pounds and look like I could rip your arms off, right? So I spend my days trying to not look scary. I'm like, I'm friendly. Don't chase me with pitchforks. Like, that's what I do. All these people that I'm working with are basically drama nerds. And they're like, be scary. And they're like, rawr. And I'm like, that's not scary. I would punch you in the face. Like, I don't know what to do. And so it's a weird experience, and I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, I don't know.
I just love the idea of, like, okay, look scary. Rawr. Don't upstage me, Gary. All right, this is my time to shine. I am cheating out. I am getting the audience's attention. I am singing to the rat. Don't ruin this for me.
Like, it's one of those things that, like, it's counter, like, you because I did a scary village last year, and they didn't give us any training or anything. It was like, be scary, and I'm like, okay, I can do that. And essentially, all the things that you, like, in polite conversation, you're told not to do, like, don't intensely stare at people and don't blink. Don't track people as they walk in groups. Don't do that. That's not a nice thing to do in polite society. In a haunted village, it's exactly what you do. And I love it. So am I sick of hot dogs? Like, not really. I'm back on. I'm ready to get hot dogs. I'll be honest with you.
That's a pretty good segue. So today we're talking about all the cringiest things we've experienced or done.
Yes.
And I bring that up because earlier this week, Max, Dino and Cole had a hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
On their show, Hammered and Cheese. And I was supposed to, like, show up and, like, talk shit.
Yes.
I got food poisoning.
Interestingly enough, the guys that gorged themselves on wieners did not. Which is odd. It is 100%. Yeah. I
considered live streaming from the toilet just for a second, and I was like, no, back to vomiting. It's fine.
Like, you could always jump on and not share your camera, but I don't think that would be better. Like, it's because then it's just the sound, and that's a lot of the importance of that environment.
It'd be me talking like this because my vocal cords are covered in vomit.
I mean, that's kind of, yeah, that would be horrible. I don't know. I like one of the things that you mentioned. What's up, Cole? Cole, have you started eating hot dogs again? I'm like, I'll probably have a hot dog later this week. That's basically what I have. But you mentioned things that we did as young people that were cringe. I mean, I feel like that's a long list.
Oh yeah, that's the fun. That's the fun. Yeah.
I feel like that may be the origin story for most people who have done stand-up comedy in general. They're like, I was really awkward, and then I realized people like watching awkward things happen. And when it's on a stage, it's even more entertaining, you know? But I don't know. It's a weird one, right? What kind of things come to mind for you guys?
The entirety of the age of 12 to 15. But like, if we're getting specific, I think something that definitely comes to mind is one time I was doing a like a book report in English class when I was like 12 or 13, and was doing it on To Kill a Mockingbird, and I just was saying one of the characters' names wrong over and over and over again, and there was this one girl in the front, who was good at the class,
the nerd, yeah,
where she was like this. Like, her muscles were tensing the entire time, and then right near the end, she goes, "He has been mispronouncing the name the entire time. I can't with this." And then stood up and walked out.
You pushed some. Oh.
I pushed somebody to the edge, and it wasn't on purpose. I was just like, "Oh no."
I feel like that makes it even better, like, because you're like, I don't know what your problem is, and they're like, you said it wrong, and you're like, no, I didn't. I said it perfectly fine, and just watched their entire mind.
I was mortified in the moment. Like,
sure, yeah.
It's probably like, how do you say it? Oh,
yeah. Oh, it's GIF. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
That's
go fuck yourself. Yeah.
There's that meme where it's like, I wish if you could send a message to everyone in the entire world, all 8 billion people at one time, and it would appear in their own language and whatever they were, what would you say? And one person's response was, I would go in and just be like, it's pronounced Jod, and just leave. It's not God, it's Jod, and just walk away. And you're like, I mean, I
asked that to my seniors a couple weeks ago, and they were like, one of them said simulation ending, which was a good one.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe have it say like, I pooped my pants or something.
I mean, there's a lot of things like that. So interesting enough that you mentioned about the mispronouncing of names is there's a podcast I've been watching that's kind of like, it's like idiots talking about conspiracy theories, which I'm like, okay, it's a different perspective. I like to watch that. And they actively mispronounce things. And it's like they just don't speak right, but also like they're dressed like it looks like they're cosplaying as hillbillies. And I'm like, I have issues here. And I'm like, but they're also gaining popularity. And I'm like, I have a problem. And I don't know if it's a me problem or if it's the universe's problem. And it bothers me a lot. But listen, and also to answer Cole, it's because I think you're a degenerate. That's why I think you would eat hot dogs on a daily basis. Okay.
I like how somebody goes, "What kind of stream
hot
is
dog
this?"
season is over, my friend. Hot dog season is never over. It's always hot dog season up here.
Yeah.
There's no brat summer. It is hot dog season all the time. What kind of stream is this? We're a comedy podcast about generational differences.
Yeah.
And today we're talking about the cringiest stuff we did as kids, teens, etc.
And Sophie T, you're welcome to share. What is the cringiest thing that you did? And let's be honest, I feel like a lot of the times what makes it cringe is that you don't realize it's cringe, and you're like, I'm cool. And people are like, no, you're not. And you're like, oh, I thought I was.
When Avatar The Last Airbender was in the middle of showing, I used to dress up like an earthbender.
I mean, you do look good in earth tones, so I don't feel that that's a bad
thing. I would walk around in flip-flops and be like, it's the closest I can get to being barefoot without getting sent home.
So my mom's parents are from Italy. Can I consider myself half Italian? I'm like, yeah, if you want to have people hate you, sure. That's
That's
reasonable.
a very strange question.
That's okay. I'm part Italian. Good for you. That's a weird thing.
Hey, my question.
Hey, my question. There you go. I'm autistic. I've got too many choices. Listen, so Sophie, here's a question for you: is now that autism is in, how does that make you feel? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't have a problem with autistic people because I feel like they are the ones that need to just be directed gently and let loose. That's my theory because, you know,
So
they're
if
better.
if you want a good example of a person on the spectrum, probably Dino and I, if undiagnosed, maybe. Or you can check out any episode we've had with Nina Dicker because she has the tiz riz, as she said.
Oh, she's got the tiz riz like of the highest degree. Forgetting
Max,
there's
did
a
you
top.
have one? I feel like we stepped on you.
Oh. Yeah, Max.
Getting there's the top step in your man, I do that way more than I should.
Yeah.
I'm more asking about the stuff that like keeps you awake at night where you're like, oh God, what was I thinking?
Yeah, but every time you've missed the top step of your stairs and someone's been behind you, you think about it.
Oh yeah. Like you think they noticed it even though they've probably not even registered that.
I mean, like there's a lot of things that say, what's your favorite comfort food? Oh, I mean, hot dogs. Come on. Hot dogs are in your head. Are you a meathead? We're all meathead. What are you talking about, Cole? How dare you, sir? How dare you? You know what though? Like this is the thing is like today we went on a hike in an effort to not die before the age of 45. I am currently 44, just so people understand.
Yeah.
It's fine. So in doing that, we went to a bakery, and like of course, bakeries in the country, bakeries have some of the best things, like butter tarts all year round. And you're like, yeah, I just want to ruin my everything. Just give me like a dozen butter tarts, right? And they're perfect. So it's like comfort food comes in so many different things, but you know, I feel like baked goods, because that way I just have to smell them and I've already gained the weight. I'm like, well, I've already gained the weight. I might as well just eat them. It's fair, right? It's just one of those things.
Baked goods are something like someone's waving at the person behind you and wave back. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm.
Oh yeah, those are good ones. Those are fun to watch someone realize, like right, and they're like, hey, and they look back and they're like, taxi, and you're just like, you tried to save it. There's no taxi though.
Yeah, there's like no real way to salvage that.
You eat a rat for $1 million. Yes, but there has to be a contract.
There has to be a contract, and like, can I prep the rat? Like, do I have to eat it raw, or can I like, you know?
I don't. You know what?
Eat off the bone, barbecue it, something like.
I feel like if it's not raw, you have to catch it, and then you can cook it to your heart's desire. I think that would be fair. But you know.
Yeah, that sounds like that would be fair. Yeah,
that's a fair. Like eating it raw, that's dangerous. That's not a good deal.
I used to go to school with a drawn-on lightning bolt shaped scar on my forehead, like Harry Potter. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that'll get you.
Yeah.
Sophie, welcome to our show. Yeah. Please feel free to subscribe because trust me, we're gonna get into that kind of stuff.
That goes to everyone else, by the way. Please like and subscribe and all that.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you haven't, why not? It's we're a good time. Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah, last night.
Yeah, that's fair.
Last night I went to go.
Who wouldn't?
See Hamilton with Katie at the Pantages, and there's like a scene where it's like his son is a kid. He's like 9 years old. He's like, oh, I'm learning to count to 9 in French, and like, oh, my little kid's so smart. But it's being played by a grown ass adult doing this, because they do like a double casting thing. So the way it's really hard for that actor to like become more childlike, but the actor last night did really well, and he capped it off with, as he exited the scene, he did the Naruto run, like up the stairs and off stage.
I mean, that's funny.
Yeah.
See, okay. One of the cringiest things I've ever seen is people who pretend not to be the age they are, and who are like, "Oh, I don't look my age," and you're like, "Yeah, you do. Just shut the fuck up. Just
I don't know
immediately.
what you mean by that. Do you mean like, oh, I'm 22 and you're like 17, or is it like, oh, I'm 30 and you're 52 or something?
As far as I'm concerned, if you're 22 or 17, you look like a baby. It doesn't matter. That's it, right? It's when people are like, I'm 45, but I look like I'm on your 30s. Yeah. No, you don't.
The Naruto run is dying out, shaking my head. I think because of that Area 51 thing from a few years ago. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then there was the news report where they're like, they've come here to see Area 51. They can't stop all of us. And then just in the background, there's a guy running.
Yeah, of course.
And then, of course, that's what killed it. Because as soon as something that's on the internet is shown on like live TV, Jimmy Kimmel, whatever, it's a dead meme. It's gone.
That's fair. Favorite fast food burger? Ooh, good question.
Oh yeah, now we're getting into the meat.
I mean, listen. So I live in Toronto, and these guys, Rat Burger. I mean,
it's $1 million.
We've all seen Demolition Man. I'd have the Rat Burger. There's no question. Yeah,
good movie.
Listen, it's a little bit too accurate now. We're all living a little bit of Demolition Man. And you know what? I really feel like I would look good in those robes. I'm a little saddened that I don't get the robes because I'm like, I think I could. I would pull it off. Is anyone stronger than the Hulk? It depends on which Hulk, especially if you go to Maestro. Maestro is the ultimate of the Hulks, and he is a world breaker. So, tough question. Let's put a pin in that. Naruto Run is dying out.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing? Okay, so I've never been into that.
If you're a certain age, you knew someone in middle school or high school who did the Naruto run. Just everywhere they would throw their hands behind them, run with two legs.
Yeah. And the reason it's done that like that in the animation is to save money, so they don't have to animate like someone pumping their arms. They just do that.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
That is a real ninja thing that they would do to like speed up.
But doesn't that create more drag or something? Like I'm not good at
I'm not an expert on physics, man.
Neither am I. I'm asking.
Hey, well, hold on. Let's put some perspective on it. When was the last time either of you have run? There we go. Let's go.
We're good. Am I allowed to say if I ran to catch the bus?
Did you run, or was it like a quick meander, a few longer steps maybe, but run?
When I was taking the train to work and I'd have to like make my connection, I have both run and knocked people over to make the train to bus connection.
Zaragoza, I mean, like, yeah, nothing is good if you eat a bunch of it, but honey is better than sugar.
For Zara's thing, that was after last episode. We were talking in the Nexus at Night Discord, which is a card game show I have. But
honey, and also honey can technically count under the carnivore diet because it is an animal product, technically.
But still, it was a funny conversation where she's like, I'm pretty sure honey's not good for you if you're a diabetic. I'm like, take it up with him, okay? I'm not the one who's saying that.
It's
here they're doing it.
Honey as an alternative to just adding sugar or sweeteners. Honey is better for you, and it's also better for your allergies and your environment and all that kind of stuff. Whataburger, I still have to have Whataburger. Cole, by the way, Cole got mistaken for his I guess with his mom. He was with his mom, and they were like, "Are you guys?" And he was like, "No," because that's alarming.
I just imagine him like petulantly stamping his foot. No, I'm not. Yeah. Just like, oh, okay, you are not.
I mean, that's fine. Hold on, what is this? I'm 26 and I keep getting given child tickets on public transport. I don't ask for it. I just look like an internal kid, apparently. Damn it, Sophie! And you have autistic superpowers. I mean,
hang on to that. That's a gift.
Yeah. It's you know what? Like the only it becomes hard, right? Because you're gonna attract weirdos. Victoria's like, lucky you. Fair enough. I don't know. How do you like?
I know that you guys are holding on to stuff that you're not saying because you're embarrassed of it. Like I can feel it.
I've danced at weddings and then bragged about how good of a dancer I was.
Oh.
I was 11. I was neither good at bragging nor at dancing.
Rock the boat.
Oh, I don't even. It was not. It was just. It lives. I've relived it many times in my brain, and no,
Yeah.
no. Talking to girls any time ever in my entire to this day.
Yeah.
I figured out I don't like talking to women in general, and especially if they're attractive, it makes me feel more uncomfortable. I'm like, can you just step back 5 feet? And they're like, why? And I'm like, I don't want you that close to me. And they're just like, why? And I'm like, it just makes me uncomfortable.
Jesus Christ.
That's simple.
Oh my God.
What? Okay, hold on. It happened so much I don't even get mad anymore. That's a lie. Autism keeps you young because social normals give most people anxiety. Also true. Was this before my current boyfriend I tried to pose? What? Yeah, there's yeah.
That's
never good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Victoria says, I don't know how to say. If you remember, Victoria, I was afraid of talking to you for like the first 6 months that we dated. Remember, I saw Victoria. I was like, wow, she's gorgeous. The next time I saw her was like a year later at a friend's wedding. I had to be shit-faced, and then I asked her to dance. And even then, didn't really talk. Still didn't. Okay? It was, so, yeah, you were included in that. I love you. Don't be weird.
I am very ashamed of my behavior when I first met Katie, because it was during the pandemic, and show each other your vax cards and the negative COVID test to even see each other. And our first date was watching Airplane, and I was so feral from not interacting with people for so long, where I was like, you nice look, like just kind of caveman grunts for most of that. And like think Beauty and the Beast, but at the beginning of the movie, but for the entire date.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like that's. I feel like the more awkward you are on a date, the more comfortable women get, because it gives them a sense of, oh, this guy's retarded. That's fine. Well, I'll figure it out, you know. Because they're like, oh, he's too dumb to figure out anything else. I just gotta figure it out. It's fine. I don't know, Max. What do you think? What's something? Are you a ladies' man, Max? I don't know.
Oh, I would love it if you thought I was one.
I mean, who knows? It's this is funny. Paul, Free Diddy and Justice for Diddy. I believe it's justice for his victims, sir.
Yeah,
good for
justice
you.
for Diddy is him going to jail. That's
yeah. Well, I don't think he's
going
to come out. Elrad, what the hell's going on here, sir? If we knew, we still wouldn't be able to tell you because we barely speak English. The most popular theory for autists looking so young is because of our muted facial expressions. I can be ecstatic, but my face could show. Okay, somebody did this and it freaked me out. Was so all the drama nerds that I'm working with, one of the girls kept a straight face but then laughed like hysterically. So she's like, and I'm like, oh, that's scary.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it
was. And I was like, yeah, I just like to growl at people and stare at them into their soul. That's my scariness. It was a lot. It was yeah. But yeah, there's I think Atlas. What? I mean, I think Atlas is more bear than beast. I mean, he is hairy excessively. It's quite entertaining, but that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. It's
look at that right there. That's good coverage, yeah.
I feel like, see, this is the wild thing is that men are built for like ancient times. Like, I can cut down a tree very fast. I can kill an animal and provide food. And then I'm hairy, so I won't be cold in the winter months. You're like, that's a good selling feature. But then, now we have society and indoor heating.
Yeah, and now I live in California, where this type of body is not good for. I'm meant to be somewhere in the Midwest working on like a barge or something. I can't.
Oh, you look perfect in like Gander or what's the other one? There's a fishing town in Boston. It's just north of Salem. It's got like 7 extra vowels in it. It's weird.
Winston-Salem? No,
I don't know, but it starts with a G, and it's like all fishing boats. I feel like you would shine in that environment, Atlas.
Oh yeah.
You look like you should have one of those, like, I'm a sailor, and you have like the buttons only on one side of your coat, like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely gotta. I don't know. I don't get seasick much.
Really? There's a skill. I don't know. It's like, that's the thing is, have you guys? I was involved in a wedding. I'm not sure if we talked about this the other week, Alice. It might have been on Hammer and Cheese, but I was telling people how like one of my friends was getting married, and her best friend came back from Australia with her new significant other.
Yeah.
And so he's Australian, strong Australian accent, which you're like, fuck you. That's number one. And then he's like, oh, I'm also a firefighter, which you're like, that's fuck you too. And then we were all in the room, as I was in the one of the groomsmen, and we were all getting changed. And he's like, oh, I found my suit. And he comes in and takes his shirt off, and he's shredded. I'm like, I gotta punch you in the face, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm like, this is not fair. You can't have three things that are
you have
awesome.
Too many things going for you.
Yeah. And I was like, you beat your wife or something? He's like, no, I would never. I'm like, nah, I don't know what to do, man. This is bullshit. Like, do you have a drug problem? He's like, no, I don't like drugs. I'm like, smoke? Nothing? He's like, no, it's hard to smoke and surf. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
How many R's are in the word strawberry?
Like, it's really frustrating.
Yeah. Let's see. Come to England, no internal heating over here for our homes, just radiators. That's where my mom's ancestry comes from. So it's
my wife was actually born in the UK, and yeah, same thing. I'm like, come to England, no internal heating over here. Yeah, same in Greece. As soon as it gets cold, people just die. It's easier. Much better thing. I think you guys should break something. Like our minds are gone a long time ago. We're just picking up pieces at this point. England has boilers for mass heating, efficient and clean. I mean, I believe those are just farts, Elrad. Just farts. Internal farts. That's it.
Last night when we were at Hamilton, the guy next to Katie brought a vape in. And he smelled like vape and was burping and farting the entire time.
Okay, here's the thing. What if his vape was one of those like fart machine things? Like he was just like pranking everyone kind of thing?
No.
What do you smell like vape? What do you smell like? He smelled like blueberries and like
way too much fruit, like that would not be on someone. Like
it became an immersive experience for you, Atlas. You know, it enhanced your viewing of Hamilton.
Well, that was her.
1700 smelled great.
She was the one experiencing it. I was on the other side of her.
Wow. You'll have to go again so you can get the experience now.
You know what you
should guy down. Hey, I need you to eat like all the corned beef in the world, drink a full stein of beer, and take this vape in with you, and then I can really get the experience.
Then I'm really going to be more, into the play, really getting the spirit of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
come into the room where it happens. Yeah.
At that time in history,
take that in with you. That's really gonna add to the mystique.
Gross.
I mean, okay. So here's a question for you: what is the etiquette of farting in public? So I am not pro farting, but I'm like, if you can guarantee it's not going to clear the room, you should get a pass, even if it's loud. But I feel like people are people criminalize farting when there's no way for it to go back in, guys. Yeah. It's got to come out.
I think you get one pass, and then if you want have the toots or whatever, go outside for a couple minutes, then come back in.
That's fair.
Yeah, if you can find a private place to do it there, just in case. If there's no way around it, everyone gets one pass. Yeah.
I mean, listen, at the same time, close quarter self-defense, it's valuable. Sometimes you just got to get people when you can and just, give them a little crop dusk and walk away.
This is a thing for all teachers.
Yeah.
Max, as I'm sure you know, we crop dust the kids all the goddamn time.
Yeah. But listen.
And then watch them blame each other.
Of course. But all you have to do is crap your pants once and your career is done. You will always be the teacher that shit himself. Right. And that travels with you, man. That'll come to your new school. You can't.
Definitely.
That's
especially
a hard.
In the same school district. Yeah.
So hold on. Sophie asks, Atlas, how was Satisfied?
The actress who played Angelica was, I think, the best one there. It's really hard not to compare it to the original cast, and I think whoever played Angelica was really, really great. She crushed it.
My wife got taken with her friend for a birthday party, I believe. over a birthday gift to go see Hamilton, and they went, and they're like, "Do you want to come?" I'm like, "No, it sounds horrible. I don't have zero interest. You guys like it, I know, that's fine, but I'm just like, that's
well, especially because you're Canadian, where you're like, man, fuck the American Revolution.
yeah. Like, if anything, you guys screwed us over. That's fine. I'm like, if you had the balls, you could have conquered the entire continent, and we would have been sitting in a different world. But you guys were like, don't cross Niagara Falls. That's crazy. Musicals are wonderful. So recently, my wife took me to go see Keen, and while Keen performed a great. It was the Hopes and Dreams tour. Apparently, that's his first album when he was on drugs, so it's very good music. But the problem is, concerts attract concert people, and concert people love singing the songs that are being played. And I'm not sure people understand this, but I paid to hear the artist sing, not you. Now, at musicals, do you sing along, Atlas?
No. Because first off, they tell you that. They're like, no fucking singing, all right? It's their job. Everyone shut up. A, and B, I know I'm not that good. So I'll like mouth along to it, or I'll like kind of groove along to the music, but I'm not singing.
Max, what's your opinion on this? I need a third party.
Definitely guilty of singing along at concerts. I've done it quite a few times, usually for the popular songs where everybody's doing it. But I'm sure there's been one where it's like a deep cut, but I love it, so I'm singing, and the guy next to me is like, "You shut the fuck up, man."
Yeah.
At least Like, listen, I don't want to, as Atlas says, I don't want to yuck on people's yum, because it's good to feel joy. I'm just saying to yourself, you don't have to project so much. It's just not.
But at the same time, you'll go to like a Judas Priest concert. They don't even do. Like, Rob Halford doesn't... Okay, wait, is he dead? When they were a thing, still, whatever. Whenever they're doing Breaking the Law, he just kind of puts the microphone out.
Yeah.
And then the audience does it, because they know, like, the song is the Judas Priest song.
That's... Okay, Dino, quit bullshitting. You don't know songs. I can't... I'm old, and I know some songs. I don't know a lot of songs, and it's fine. But the thing is that, like... If an artist, so there's a bunch of TikToks going around about Frankie Valli, who's singing, I guess, in Las Vegas. And he's basically just standing there, and you can see his lips are barely moving, and you're like, it's clearly recording. You're like, bro, does this guy still have student loans? Like, what is he doing out there? Like, it's very alarming. He shouldn't be. You're like, let this guy retire. Do something. I don't know. It's very, and that's, if they can't hit the notes, and they're like, everyone else sing. You're like, that's
I've seen a lot of bands do that, especially older ones. Like, I saw Def Leppard do that a few times, or like if they couldn't hit the note, they would have the audience get it. Or the Rolling Stones actually had a blues singer on stage with Mick Jagger who would like sing with him if he couldn't hit the note.
Oh my God.
And like, it's a tough one. Like, and that's the whole thing is I'm like, it's a weird situation to be in, but facts is like you should enjoy the concert, but at the same time, I paid to watch somebody else sing. Right? Yeah. You're Mormon. I was never Mormon. I was a Jehovah's Witness, and that was a long time ago, sir. That was like 25 years ago. Jesus. For metal bands, I feel audience participation is so needed. Rest your voice. Yeah, but metal is different because let's be honest. It's kind of not singing. It's more just yelling, which I'm all for. But, it's not like we went to go see Elton John in Manchester, which was a wild, wild experience. And I'm still amazed that we got to do it. And I thank my wife whenever I can for it. But at the same time, like we had seats that were right in line with the stage. So like he's playing on the piano. If he looked up, me and him made eye contact, had a little bit of sexual tension and everything. It was great.
Why the recent stream's been in portrait mode? It's because of like putting clips on TikTok and shit like that.
Clips on TikTok, and also there's a number here that I'm watching that goes up to so far it's been as high as 16. So thank you everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. We love you. And or if you don't love us, that's a you problem, not us. You should share it with other people. But we appreciate the views, and it sends us into a different feed, so it's really good. Once a Mormon witness, always, I swear to God, I'm going to punch you right in the throat.
I think the funniest part is that like deteriorates more the further along you go. Once a Mormon's witness, not always, Jehovah's protection.
Yeah. That's Yohavo, and he owns a barbecue down by Cole's place. It's not the same. That's not who we're talking about, right?
Oh, I love that place.
I'm going to a punk rock show in January from album anniversary tour. I fully expect to only hear the fans. Yeah, but so there's a whole thing when it's a group of people singing along. It's not bad. It's when there's like only a couple people who are like, I have to sing, and you're like, no, you don't. Everyone else is listening. You quiet down.
This is not calling response time. They're not.
I know.
Not doing hot to go and then back and forth.
It's one of those things where like I have a hard time going the back and forth, and I'm like, I don't want to hear other people. I want to hear the person I paid to see. Right? I don't know. It's a hard one. Yeah, it's definitely
a band too. Like I remember when I saw the Beach Boys, they had a giant screen behind them that displayed the lyrics so you could sing along, and I was like, oh, they want this to be karaoke. Like,
yeah, that's a little much. That's that's a tough one. And then you're like, well, they asked for it. What are you supposed to do? Like, and then do you really just go? Yeah, right. Like just be like, well, we're all gonna ruin our years today. I want to hear the band. This album came out in 2004. I want to hear
I want to know what album this is now,
listen,
Sophie.
Yeah, I know. Like, listen, this was because what we saw for Keen was the 20th anniversary, which is 2004. He still hit it quite well, but apparently he's gotten sober, and so like that heals a lot of your stuff. But that's fine.
Punk album in 2004. What do you guys think? I'm gonna guess Green Day.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Oh, American Idiot, right?
Yeah. Either Dookie or American Idiot. I think those came out like a year apart, actually.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, well, now we got
American Idiot was like them being like, it was the one good anti-Iraq war protest album / song.
Yeah. That's weird.
Like,
stuff that criticizes the Bush administration almost feels quaint now.
Yeah. So there's My Chemical Romance had 3 cheers for something. Funeral by Arcade Fire. How to Dismantle an Atom Bomb by U2. American Idiot was Green Day.
Okay.
Sung Tongs by Animal Collective. Hot Fuss from The Killers. Like, there's a lot.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about The Killers.
Damn.
Confessions from Usher. PJ Harvey, Gwen Stefani's Love Angel Music Baby. That was, Under My Skin by Avril Lavigne. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Wait, Love Angel Music, is that the one Hollaback Girl is on? No.
I don't know.
I remember that song coming out like late elementary school for me, so that sounds
like there's a lot of Rise from Rammstein. Hello. I mean, that would be Encore by Eminem, Leviathan, Mastodon. There's a lot that came out. 2004 was a good year.
Wow.
College Dropout by Yee. Like, Jesus Christ.
I like how we just have that at the top of the screen. Jovi's Barbecue is great. He sells toilet paper and used catalytic converters out of the back.
I feel like
things you always need.
I feel like we should hit him up for advertising.
Or maybe he has my catalytic converter that got stolen.
I mean, if anything, it's a premium because it was a catalytic converter for a Prius, which means it's barely used. Can I ask you guys a question? Anything you want, whether we answer or not, depends on you, sir.
Yeah, it depends on how stupid it is.
Is A Real Boy by Say Anything an iconic yet underrated album for the genre? I have no idea.
Definitely, Sophie. 100% agree on that.
Is it iconic yet underrated? Well, now I don't know that band.
It's a pop punk band. It's like one of the old emo bands. Yeah.
Is A Real.
Yeah, when we were young this year, they're doing the album play of that. Enjoy that, Sophie. My buddy saw them play that album like 2 or 3 months ago. They said it was great, so you were in for a treat.
Did whoever was watching get some sort of scar from the mosh pit, like your bit on stage?
That would be wild.
Oh, no, that is a question. I don't have any scars. I have gotten injured, though. Yeah, I've had. I remember when I was in the pit for Turnstile. It was really fun. I was dancing. The cameraman actually walked over, so I was on the Jumbotron for like a split second.
Nice.
And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a break. So I get out of the pit. The guy standing in front of me when the next song begins just starts dancing, throws his elbow back, and just claps me.
Oh.
Yeah. To spend the rest of that set in the medical tent. But, the Band-Aid can't solve.
Yeah.
Did it break your nose or what?
No, it just made me bleed, down the side a little bit.
I mean, that makes you look badass, so it's fine, right? That's fine.
Oh, yeah, no. I was like, it's a badge of honor at the punk rock show.
I've entered into a mosh pit. I've never done anything. I've walked through them unscathed. I don't,
I just love the idea of like, yeah, mosh pit, and they're like throwing their elbows up, and then Dino walks by. Oh. Okay.
I had once. I'm glad you feel validated, Sophia. It makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Max. One time I was talking to somebody, and we were having a conversation, and my back was turned to the mosh pit, and someone, I guess they went into the air and hit my back, and then hit the floor, and I was like, oh. So I just turned around and I looked down, and I look up at the person who threw them, and they were like, "So sorry, sir. Our bad." And I'm like,
grabs the legs, drags them back.
Yeah, I was like, please don't throw people at me. I'll throw people back at you. I don't want to do that. It was weird. And it's never I've always wanted to, but I'm like, yay, and people are like, nope, gotta go, and everyone just vanishes. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of
one of my friends, he teaches at a middle school, and there was a kid who was like
very nice, Carl.
Nice.
Being a dick, and like went to go push him, and my friend is like a little bigger than me. You've seen what I look like, Max.
Yes, I have.
And this is a 7th grader, so he goes to push him and just kind of does a push up off of him.
Yeah,
like tries to and then just goes.
There's a certain amount of joy when that kind of so Max, I used to be 500 pounds, and like at 500 pounds, people are like, hey, that's slippery. I'm like, interesting you would say that. The pressure between my feet and the ground negate any slipperiness. All viscosity just disappears because of the pressure. Yeah. Basically, I'm like, I could just
you unlock when you get to that size.
Yeah, it's because like people are like, oh, it's slippery. I'm like, no, I'll just break through. I'll just like an ogre. It's great. But like that's yeah. I mean, it's that's why it's always weird because like I've had people like I've stood in doorways and people are like, excuse me, sir, can I get through? And I'm like, no. And they're like, no, okay, I'll just wait. Yeah, it's fine. I am now the door. It's just it's one of those things that I'm like, it's hard to like because I've never been to
Snorlax from Pokemon. They gotta play the flute to wake you up so you move.
I wouldn't mind it. I still wish I had hired somebody that played the tuba to walk behind me every once in a while, just for the fun of it. But I don't know. It's weird now. Now I'm small. That's why I'm like, I've never been to a rave because I just assumed that was for thin people. But now I'm like, I'm still not thin, but I'm a lot less fat, and that's got to count for something. No, she didn't. You go, girl.
I have no idea.
I mean, whatever conversation you're having, H Beach, enjoy. That's fair. I don't know. It is. Here's a question for you. So you guys, Max, are you around the same age as Atlas?
Around, yeah.
Okay. So how do you guys feel? Because now I have a theory, Max. It's that even until the age of 29, people would be like, well, he's in his 20s. You can be an idiot. But as soon as you're 30, people are like adult or get fucked. Like immediately there's no patience anymore. People are like, either you figure your shit out or you're just, they don't like you. And like, I feel like after, as an official adult, you're kind of like, I don't care if you don't like what I do. I'm just going to do it because it makes me happy, right? Like I build a lot of Lego, and people are like, really? And I'm like, Lego's awesome. If you don't like it, you're the problem. Like that's basically my thing, right? So like, how do you guys find, like, are you at a point where you're kind of like, I don't care if it's cringy, whatever, eat my ass? Like, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'd say I feel about the same way. Like what you like, do what you're gonna do. Like, yeah, you want to build Legos? That's cool. Like, you know, some people collect baseball cards, some people collect Pokemon cards. It's not for one to judge the other, you know. It's like, with that stuff, I'm like, yeah, no, just do whatever you want. Like, yeah, find your joy. When it comes to like, I think like bills and money stuff and relationships, once you turn 30, it's like, oh yeah, no, it's time to put on the big boy pants, proverbially. Like, come on now, you're in your 30s and you don't know this shit. Come on now.
It's one of those things. Atlas, what about you? How do you feel? Like, because now, look, realistically, Atlas has checked off a lot of box of being a grown-up now. You know, he lives with a wife. He has a job that is theoretically a career. He influences the youth, which I think is heinous, but
so does he.
Neither of those. Okay, hold on.
Although Dino's just like, well, he's better, anyways.
Okay, let's. Max, what do you teach though? Like, I need to know.
I teach drawing, animation, and game design.
That's fine. That's fine. Listen, Atlas is teaching language and comprehension of literature. I have a problem with this. Because
those kids are screwed.
Yeah, right. Like, listen, and no, don't be offended, Max. But if someone's like, Max is gonna teach you how to draw, I'll be like, yeah, he looks like a guy who knows how to draw something. Like, it may be just Garfield, but it's still gonna be a good Garfield. That's fine. That's fine. Are you 3 tall? I mean, that's fair. I'm like 6'2", 6'3". Atlas is 6 foot. Max, how tall are you?
Or something.
Yeah.
I'm like 5'9", 5'10", I want to say.
Well, there you go. So he's taller than most women, but about average. I have a friend who's significantly taller, and we've theorized that the male version of "I have a boyfriend" is when you tell women that you're like, I am 5'14". I am not 6'2". I'm 5'14". I'm definitely not 6 foot. Just to be clear, you know, that's a way to tell people, no, I'm not available. Good. Yeah, I don't know. Like, a lot of people I know are mean. I know I used to be very mean when people would say things, and I would just immediately judge them and be like, that's stupid, and you're stupid because of it.
Oh, no, definitely.
Which I definitely still do. But I think it's more, I try and explain it to them. Like, I think you're stupid because of these reasons. And that's, that's fair.
I don't know if if it's a matter of me getting older and just being more okay with people doing stuff around me, or if it's like our generation seeing how kind of mean the boomers were to us growing up.
Yeah.
You still do that? Well, why not? I go to work and come home and hate my life. Why are you enjoying yourself? Fuck you, or whatever.
Yeah. People who criticize people's hobbies, the worst people in existence, I think.
Here's my philosophy on it is, if your thing is giving you enjoyment, it's not hurting you and it's not hurting anybody else, it's fine. There is nothing wrong with that.
No, 11, I would go further, and I would say, as long as you're making at least one person's life a living hell by your hobby, I'm still all for it. Just like a limited, not everyone, but like 4 or 5 people, that's fine. I'm 4'11", and my boyfriend is 5'2" or 3. Okay, so awesome. I have 2 questions. Is number 1, how does your boyfriend feel when someone says the word "shortking"? I don't think this is a compliment, but I need a point of reference. Number 1. Number 2.
It really depends on the tone of voice, right? Or if you're like, man, that guy is a short king versus he's a short king.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's fair. And the other one, and please don't be offended, is, do you guys go to Renaissance fairs or cosplay as maybe some people from Middle Earth. I'm just asking because I would love to be a giant
You're
dwarf.
so mean.
It's not mean. That's mean. That's using the tools that you have. Listen, I can't do some of that shit. If anything, people are like, look, it's an Oliphant. Because I'm like, fuck you guys. I got big ears and I'm huge. That's the dick thing.
Oh my God, skip everything. That newest comment, Cole says, Sophie's got herself a strawberry shortcake.
Strawberry shortcake. Oh, Jesus. He despises it. Okay, good. I figured as much. A strawberry shortcake, that is, it's simply insecurity. Let's fuck them. I mean, yeah, but like also too, boomers are getting to an age where you could be like, hey man, you want to crack that hip? And shut the fuck up. Keep on walking. Keep your opinion to yourself. Right? Because they're fragile.
Okay. So I found this thing online that I want to get from my parents, where it's like it's tell me your story, and it's this journal with questions about stuff that they've experienced through their lives. Like, what was your first crush? What was your first kiss like? Your first job? Blah blah blah. I am so afraid of getting it for like a Mother's Day, Father's Day thing because I'm afraid I'm going to give it to them and they'll be like, "What? You think I'm just going to go quietly into the night? This is an awful gift, you know." I'm afraid of it being cringe. You know what I mean?
You know what? This is so we've discussed this before, Max. I'd love your opinion on this. Is that like parents? You meet them at a point in their life where they're pretending to be responsible, and you don't find out that they're not at all responsible until much later. And you're like, "Wait, you told me I shouldn't be doing this stuff," and they're like, "Yeah, I was shit-faced when I told you that," and you're like, "What the fuck, man?" Like. I feel like there's a lot of that. What your opinion, please?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I feel like you're never really at a point where you're not making it up. I think anyone who says they're not making it up, it's like, no, you definitely are. You just have gotten to a point in confidence where you think that you're not.
Yeah.
And I feel like, for a lot of parents, especially like in the current generation, it's like you're still kind of the person you were before having kids, but now you have a small organism that you must feed and grow.
That's like it's one of those things. Also, okay, he gets called dwarf in a day-to-day life, and he also has insane long beard. Good on him. And I play as a halfling whenever I can in games and British. I respect you, Sophie, more than you could ever realize, and I applaud you. Also,
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, he also, the fact that he despises it, he has every right to. But also, Sophie, keep Strawberry Shortking in your back pocket if he ever pisses you off. Use that, you'll destroy his entire universe. So be careful. But yeah, I applaud you because you know what? I feel like people are afraid to embrace what they are because someone else told them how they should feel about it. They should feel happy about who you are. And I think that's it's a respectable thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. I have this thing like, so I've asked my mom for her to tell me her story and she's like, I'll die with that story. And I'm like, that's not nice. That's not nice at all.
Yeah.
And
like, it really bums me out because like, I barely know anything about my grandparents on both sides because no one fucking tells each other anything.
Yeah.
So like that story dies with them. And I don't know, like I'm a big history nerd and a big part of history is just telling the story of what happened.
Well, okay, but like he who does not know history is doomed to repeat it. Yes. So like realistically, if it's your grandparents, their experiences are somehow embedded in your DNA because remember, they make choices for certain reasons and certain reasons come down to how your brain, your makeup, like there's a lot of things that factor into it. So like knowing that stuff, like, oh, you know, like if you had an uncle who was like, oh, he had a drug problem and then he also had a gambling problem and then he had a womanizing problem. You're like, hey man, maybe that's some addictive personality you should fucking be aware of. That's a good thing to be, you know, just in case, right?
Yeah, like the most unrealistic part of Holes is the fact that they kept a story from their great-great-grandparents.
Exactly. That's not, it didn't happen. So I know, Sophie, you think Strawberry Shortking is low-key adorable. I don't say that I know your boyfriend, but I do not feel that he will share that sentiment. You may try and embrace it. I don't believe that he will. And if you try and dress him as such, I
Dan
don't.
fans, we haven't gotten any fan art ever, but if anyone ever wants to do whatever Strawberry Shortking looks like,
I mean, he's got to have a throne.
Sure,
yeah. Made out of a mushroom.
Manifesting this.
I mean, kind of.
Please, somebody draw Strawberry Shortking.
I feel like Strawberry Shortking has a throne made of a mushroom.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. A cool mushroom. Probably a psychedelic one, let's be honest. That's fair.
He's got one of those big pipes.
Oh, yeah. I've been looking. I have a functioning replica of Gandalf's pipe, and I think my wife hid it on me. She doesn't I like smoking, and she's like, no, it's bad for you. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't care because I'm not fat anymore. I should at least have one vice, right? But,
one vice at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. She's very tricky that way. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like cringe is also something that is it's inherent. It's the longer you care about other people's opinions, the longer you suffer under that idea of people like, well, that's cringe. And you're like, oh, then I shouldn't do it. Then you're like, well, you're cringe for thinking things are cringe, you cringy piece of shit.
I've been called cringe by my kids. I'm like, do you understand how much I don't care? I live in the cringe. I am cringe. Oh, and then walking around with the weird bulging eyes with the scar visible. Because I noticed that when my heart rate increases, it gets more visible. So I've taken that to my advantage where I'll kind of run around the room as I'm talking, and then it starts bulging, and it's fine.
As you should. I think that's a good thing. Listen, that scar, I feel like you should highlight it every so often. Just get Katie to put some red in it or something on a daily basis, just so people can freak out. I mean, because that I have a scar coming down from my eye. You look like a Bond villain. Basically, right? So you might as well.
My passport, I definitely look like a Bond villain because they make you look dead on, do not smile.
Yeah.
And really bright flash, so it's really highlighted. I'm definitely going to be at the
all you need is an eye patch and a cat.
I mean, yeah, it's
I even have the creepy ring too.
I mean, let's be honest. Atlas would love walking around with a cat, just petting it and be like, yes, I've been waiting for you. That would be his, the crescendo to everything.
I've been waiting for you. Yeah, our appointment is at 4, buddy.
Now I just want to see a doctor who goes all into the evil aesthetic, and then.
I mean, it's fair. Who doesn't want that? Can you imagine?
I think a good way to end off the episode is one more cringe story, if we can help it.
All right.
Ooh.
Cringe feels cruel sometimes. Don't make people feel weird for being themselves unless you want them to become a recluse. She's got a point.
So, yes, but right. So
we're talking about ourselves? About other people.
So, telling somebody publicly or shaming them as cringe, I don't agree with. But I have pulled friends aside and be like, "Hey, man, are you okay? Because that was some weird shit, and I don't want to hurt your feelings." I found it uncomfortable. Now, I don't want you to be uncomfortable. So if you're cool with it, I'm here for you. I'm just going to not talk anymore.
There's a reason the weird campaign is working against the right way. It's because feeling just for doing weird shit because it is weird shit.
Yeah, but I think that I know for myself, one of the cringiest things is just the amount of times that I remember once we were driving and I thought of myself as someone who knows about cars. And I pointed out a car. I was with my closest friend and I was like, oh, that engine's running rich because it's dripping. And he's like, or they have air conditioning. And I just looked at him and I said, fuck you. Because that is what it was. It was air conditioning. And I was just like, my brain didn't brain. It's fine. I remember it to this day. It's a reasonable thing. I'm like, that's fine. It's one of those things. But I'm like, ultimately, I'm like, I've learned to say, I have opinions. And then when someone points it out something different, I go, maybe. I don't fucking know. because I just like to talk and hear myself talk because I think I sound better than you. That's all. But I don't know. What do you go? What's the last one you guys got?
Have you guys ever gone to the movies and had the ticket taker or the concessions worker say, enjoy your movie, and then you say, you too, as though they're about to go to a movie?
Oh, yeah.
I did oh, man, how many people have to do this a day? If I was working that job, I would be like, oh, boy.
I feel like they set us up.
Yeah. I did that today. Someone said, enjoy your coffee. I said, you too. I said, we can never come back here, honey. I walked away. Yeah.
Too embarrassing.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with you, Root? All right. I mean, the best, because I've called Cola, I'm like, hey, what the fuck's wrong with you? And he's like, lots, man. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. We're just gonna.
I think I'm gonna go with my job before teaching and the last apartment we were at was close enough to where I could walk to and from work.
Right.
So I would do that. And one time I was leaving work and my stomach started to disagree with me. And I was about halfway home and I'm like, do you run? Because if you run, then there's a chance of you making it worse on yourself.
True.
Or do you try and just keep a steady pace? And, so it was this weird mix of almost jogging to walking to trying to maintain. And then I rounded the corner onto the final block and just catastrophically shat my pants on the corner. So two people coming to stop and I'm just and then you have to keep walking for the last block. Yeah, exactly.
The walk of shame, or the walk of squish, more accurately.
Yeah, and then turn into my apartment, and I'm like, please God, don't run into anybody. And then I went in and just walked into the shower wearing my clothes, and turned it on.
Oh, that's fair.
Still in my clothes.
Was your shirt tucked in too?
No. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, because once that started happening, I was like, okay, untuck the shirt just in case, right?
That's fair. Yeah. Did you try and take off your shirt and wrap it around your waist as if you were I'm shirtless now, or just try and
I'm too pale and too pudgy for that to be pulled off, I think. I kind of just tried to keep it moving and hope that people in traffic weren't looking at somebody on the sidewalk and were just I'm driving something.
We've had this debate many times, and I'm like, I think only children shit their pants and old people. So the barrier from the last time you shit your pants to the first time of old age, that's I'm an adult and I should be contributing to society. When you shit your pants, I feel like you don't have to contribute to society anymore. And I feel like Atlas is trying to be no. You can just shit your pants.
I don't have to have a job and you'll pay for my existence and I can just go do whatever I want, then sure, why not?
I'm not going to pay. I'm poor.
Then shut the fuck up.
I feel like people should have more control over their bowels. It's just, I feel like that's important. Listen, I was driving home and I almost shit my pants a few months ago. And I was like, I can't shit my pants just because Atlas will win. I have to hold it in.
Yeah, spite is a powerful emotion. I'm proud of you.
Bro, and I was hurting. I was driving and I had my body sideways and I'm like, I need room and I cannot put any pressure on my butthole. It was one of those things. And that's fine. I can't. It's just too much. I can't let you win.
Just did the skull emojis.
I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
As he would, I like using the word dead ass to him because he's like, don't use that word. Don't, because he likes using that word, and it makes me feel so much older because I'm also 15 years older than both of you. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, that's okay, it's great.
Well, for people who either were too shy to comment or listening/watching to this in the future, what was something cringy that you used to do or happened to you in your childhood? Max, thank you so much for coming on Generation Dan.
Of course, this is always so much fun.
Where can people find and follow you and all that good stuff?
You can find me at Max Mielecki on Instagram and Facebook, and you can also follow me at Further Comedy, Further with a U. That is a show I run every third Friday in Echo Park. So if you're in the LA area and you want to laugh, come on by and say hi.
It is a truly wonderful show. I've been on it many times. It's very fun.
Fun times.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Follow us at Generation Dan, pretty much anywhere. Or you can follow me at Atlas Novak on all of the social medias. On YouTube, I'm the Epileptic Comic, but it's the same dude. How about you, Dino?
Dino the Genetic Marvel, right here. I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel because I used to be a Big Mac away from 500 pounds and didn't have any titties. Now I've lost almost 250 pounds and still have no titties. It's amazing. Listen, I'm not a scientist, but that shit's amazing. So, hi, Spooderman. You are a little bit late, but I appreciate you anyway. So thank you for coming. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, everyone. Hold on. Surge, come on. When I was a teenager, I would dress like a pimp and try to sell my friends.
Where was that earlier? Come on.
Surge, I probably would have thought you were like, did you ever make a sale? I feel like that's the important thing. I mean, I love it. That's fantastic. How are y'all doing? I mean, we're doing great, Spooderman, but now we're leaving. So have a wonderful night.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
I'll
see you later.
Strawberry Shortking.